Welcome to the Algebra 1 final review. This is going to be Standard 4. I think this will probably be in 3 parts, but let's see how far we get. We didn't cover this as much in class as I would like, or in the book. It doesn't even cover it quite as much as I would have liked, but we did spend some extra time on it. This section just talks about solving some of the different kinds of, basically the other kinds of equations that we have dealt with. Absolute values, using the law of exponents, and working with square roots and quadrilaterals. So we'll go ahead and get started with with absolute values. Remember, we started with something like this, so we could say that, so you could get a kind of an idea of what the pattern of an absolute value is. These two bars on either side, they represent absolute value, and they tell you to do something to the inside. They tell you to change the resulting value of the inside to a positive number. So this -3 becomes +3. This 3 becomes +3. It's not doing the opposite. It's always changing it to a positive. Now notice on this one, the negative is on the outside. So if I work this from inside out, I get -3. The absolute value of -3 is 3, but then it says to change it to a negative. And then this one, +3, stays a +3, but it has a negative on the outside, so it becomes negative. I want to do one little example here for you. Let's say I had the absolute value of -2 plus 7. Okay? And I want to know what that equals. So what I do is I do the inside first. -2 plus 7 is 5. And then I take the absolute value of the number. So this will equal, sometimes I like to make my absolute value bars a little bigger so that they don't look like ones. So we get 5. So here's some of the questions they gave us, and I'm going to show you a way to solve it. Okay? We know that there's two numbers that can change to a +6. In other words, if I was thinking of this as 6 equals the absolute value of something, well, that could be, the value of that thing inside could be 6, or it could be -6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and split my absolute value into two problems. One says x plus 2 equals 6, just like it's kind of written there, and the other one says x plus 2 equals -6, because I'm looking for those two numbers. Then I'm just going to solve them with algebra. -2, x equals 4, 2, -2, x equals -10. Now I'm going to check it. Let's plug this in. 4 plus 2 is 6. The absolute value of 6 would be 6. Let's see, -10 plus 2 is negative, let's see, is -8. Oh, you know, I made a mistake. 6, that is -8. It's a good thing we checked. Let's try -8 plus 2 is -6, and -6 changes to +6. So I actually have two answers here on this problem. They gave us one that's a little bit harder, and I'm going to show you how to deal with this. You want to get the absolute value by itself if you can. Notice this is 3 times the absolute value, so I'm going to undo it. I'm going to take, in a rare move, I'm going to divide this side by 3 and this side by 3. Okay? Now I'm basically dividing that whole thing there. So 3 divided by 3, those cancel, and I get 2x plus 10 in the absolute values equals 10. Now, I'm going to split into my two problems now that I've got the absolute value pretty much isolated. And 2x plus 10 equals, what's the opposite one? -10. And so let's see what that gives us. -10, -10, 2x equals 0, and divide by 2, x equals 0. Okay, so that's one of my answers right there. Let's check it. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 10 is 10, absolute value of 10 is 10, times 3 does equal 30, so that's good. Okay, minus 10, 2x equals negative 20. Try not to make a mistake this time. I would usually remake these videos. Let's see, negative 25, that's negative 10. But we are in a hurry to get these online so that you can review for the final, and so I've just basically kept them as they are. So negative 10, let's say 2 times negative 10. Let's see, 2 times negative 10 would be negative 20 plus 10. That's negative 10. And I see 3 times the absolute value of negative 10 is positive 30, so that's good. So that one is right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop, and the next one will be on simplifying exponents and using the rules of exponents.